So, the first thing, benefits of being slow. I've got a slow processing speed, so if I hear something, somebody says something to me, quite often, even though I've got a very good sensitive sense of hearing, I don't understand. And this happens in my day-to-day life, on most days. So, for example, if I'm going along outside and somebody says something to me in passing, I don't understand. And I'm so used to that because it's always been the case that I accept that about myself. I don't really feel too bad about it these days. Whereas in the past it would have sort of triggered a lot of fear of social rejection, but I know I can't help it. So I've come to terms with that, but it's sort of somebody could say something to me and then I have to just basically just smile and nod. Or just, if they're saying something negative, then just kind of give them the death stare. No, I'm just exaggerating, like just not smile and not nod. So like when I was younger, I've got an example from when I was at high school, which in PE once we did athletics one week and we had to wear shorts. The girls had to wear shorts, and then I don't know if we had to, but we were told to. And then one boy, when we were walking out to the field, he made a comment about my legs. And this is where it comes in really handy, having a slow processing and not being able to understand things, because I just didn't hear it. I know it was a compliment about my legs because of the expression on his face and his reaction afterwards, but I didn't catch it. So then I reacted by going like, what? And then he sort of, I can't remember if he said it again, but more quietly, and then I was still like, what? And then by then he's just kind of gone all sheepish and just gone all quiet about it and just sort of like left me alone. And this is actually, I found out like recently that this is actually how you're supposed to handle unwanted attention, because if someone says something to you, let's say it's like sarcastic, or even if it's a compliment but you're not really feeling it, then if you react in that way, like, which I wouldn't be able to purposefully do that because I'm too literal, but I'm just telling you that this is actually the advice. Like, you just react by being like, pardon, and then they'll usually realise that they've overstepped a boundary or said something that you don't like, and then they'll just backtrack or just go quiet. So I kind of like do that anyway. More recently, just because I feel like this is similar, but a more recent example, I was at the park with my children, one of my children, and there was a man who came over to me and my friends, and then he was talking to me, but I don't know him. Okay, so I'm sort of like, it's hard to explain this, but I'll try. So I'm like really hyper aware of my environment, but I'm also completely oblivious. So I suppose I have to talk about that in another video. But this man knew me, and then he was under the impression that I knew him as well. And I wasn't trying to be rude, but he was sort of like talking to me, and then I was sort of like, you know, like I just couldn't get that he's talking to me, and then I was like, I can't remember how it went exactly because of my memory issues, but I was sort of like saying, who are you? And he was like, you know me, we see each other all the time, because he's doing the school run at the same time. Presumably he sees me every day, and then he'd assumed that I also noticed him or something in passing, you know, just like as an acquaintance or whatever. But to me, it was literally the first time I've ever seen him in my whole life, so I felt really sort of like put on the spot. And because I reacted like that, being like that, then he actually said like, oh no, I remember how it went. So he addressed me, and then I said, me? Because I was so surprised that he talked to me, because it was very out of the blue, as if he was talking to me like in a very friendly way, but we'd never spoken before. And then I was so surprised that I sort of went, me? And then he said, and then he joked with me going, no, I'm talking to that person behind you. But because I'm very literal, this was really embarrassing at the time, but I just went, it was like I actually thought there was somebody behind me and he was talking to somebody behind me, but he was just kidding. So that wasn't a very good start. And then, I mean, like socially. And then he just went on like that. Like, he said these things about how he knows me, and of course I know him and stuff, and I was just like totally blank. And then after a while he just kind of like gave up, but I didn't mean to be rude. I really didn't mean to be rude.